Hi guys, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today I'm going to look at conditionals. Yes, so today I will be looking at second conditionals and third conditionals. So I will be showing you the difference. I know I've already looked at first and second, but I want to show you the difference between second and third. And today I'm going to just compile them all together. So I'll be looking at zero, first, second and third, all of them, and also showing you the difference between all four of them. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go. Okay, so here we are looking at our conditionals. To start with, we have our first conditional, and how do you form it? So we look at, when you're talking about conditionals, you have your if clause. So then in your if clause, which tense do we need? We need our present simple, and in the main clause, we need our future will. Okay, so over here, if you look, if you help me, I will help you. So this is your present simple, and then you have your will plus infinitive, that is your future tense. Okay, so then your second conditional, then again in if clause you have your past simple, and in your main clause you have your would plus the infinitive. So if you knew here, you would agree with me. Okay, so remember that in your first conditional and if clause we form it by using a present simple and future tense. All right, that is your will plus infinitive. This is your first conditional. In your second conditional, we form it in your if clause, we need our past simple. And in the main clause, we need our would plus the infinitive verb. That is the first form of the verb. And then in your third conditional, in your if clause, you need your past perfect tense. How do you form your past perfect? So you need your had, and then you need your past participle of the verb. So if you had helped me, I would have helped you. Okay, so then this is how you form your third conditional. With if clause, you have your past perfect, and in your main clause, you have would plus have. All right, this is how we form our three clauses, first, second, and third. And now we will look at their uses and how are they different. Okay, so starting with our first conditional. So that is your first conditional. We've looked at it before. So now today I am going to be looking at all three of them together again. So first conditional, to express a simple statement of fact or intent. This is your first conditional, all right? So I will buy a new car if I win the lottery. So it is expressing a simple statement or a fact or something that is your intent. And if you have noticed, you can start your sentence with your main clause, but when you start your sentence with main clause, that is your will, you do not place a comma, okay? So this is what you don't have to forget. So if you would have started like this, if I win the lottery, then you would have placed a comma, I will buy a new car. But since we started with the main clause, no comma, okay? I will go home if you don't stop criticizing me. All right, somebody is telling that, oh, I'll go home if you don't stop criticizing me. So again, this is talking about it states a fact, a statement, or something like an intent, something that you would want to do. So you will fail your exams if you don't start working harder. All right, so this is like a fact, somebody is stating. She will lose all her friends if she continues to talk about them behind their backs. Again, this is what it is, a statement as well, and it could be a fact as well. That's what happens. You lose your friends, isn't it? So this is your first conditional that talks about, that expresses a simple statement of fact or intent. How do we form it? We form it by using our present simple with if and will in our main clause. When we start our sentence with if, we place a comma. When we start with will, that is your main clause, you do not place a comma, okay? Moving on with the next one. This is your second conditional. So why do we use your second conditional? Okay, so conditional to, second conditional, to refer to a present unreal situation or to a situation in the future that the speaker thinks is unlikely to happen. All right, so we talk about a present, either we talk about present unreal situation or we talk about a situation in the future that the speaker thinks is unlikely to happen. So I always tell people that second conditions are like beautiful dreams that you would want to come true. But again, dreams are just dreams, isn't it? Okay. So if I were you, comma, I would tell him, you are sorry, but I am not you. You understand that? So this is what it is talking about, something which is unlikely to happen, all right, in the present, unreal situations, or something which is unlikely to happen in future. So this is about present unreal situation. I am not you. Okay, and again, if you have already noticed, and if you haven't, so this is where I bring your notice to, that when you're using your I, all right, instead of was, I, he, she, it. So when we're talking about conditionals, we always say if I were you, instead of saying if I was you. See, when you're using your was, that is also acceptable now. But sometimes, there are certain people who are still very old school and they'll still say, no was, were. So to be always right, use your were. Why bother? I mean, why take chance, right? And again, a beautiful song. Anybody remembers, like, if I were a boy? Yeah, so that's full of second conditions. If you haven't already heard that, go ahead and again practice your second conditions with the song. Okay, so looking at our next example here, which says, if I won the lottery, I would buy a new house, but I don't expect to win the lottery. Okay, again, I mean, when you're buying a lottery, chances are slim. So that's why this is again very unlikely to happen. And we missed this one. If I had a lot of money, I would buy a new car, but I don't have a lot of money. Okay, so that's what it means. It talks about second conditional, talks about unreal situations in the present or something which is unlikely to happen in future. That's the reason I said that they are like beautiful dream that you would want to come true. But like I said, dreams are just dreams. Okay, and the last one, if it snowed tomorrow, we would go skiing, but I don't have much hope that it will snow. Okay, so that's what talking about future. And this is your second conditional. Again, don't forget in all your conditionals, like I said, if you start your sentence with if, you place a comma. But if you start your sentence with your main clause, we do not place a comma. Again, second thing that I mentioned and I want you to remember is when you're using your I, he, she, it, instead of was, use your were to be always correct. Okay, so that was your second conditional. Moving on to the third one. Okay, I have to keep on moving this so that we can see. All right, well, we'll start with the first one and then I'll move it up. So third conditional to refer to the past and situations that did not happen. Okay, so here we talk, it is like a regret, all right, something that happened in the past. So if you look at this one, if it had snowed yesterday, we would have gone skiing, but it didn't snow, so we didn't go skiing, all right? So it's talking about something that happened in the past. Again, very unlikely, all right, situations that did not happen, and now we have this kind of wish that, oh, how I wish this would have. So this is what your third conditionals are about. It talks about past situations. So how are they different from your second conditional? Second conditionals, they talk about present, unlikely things to happen, and something that you think is unlikely to happen in future. But third conditional, they talk about past regrets, all right? Okay, so then I will move this here. Okay, so if you had studied harder, you would have passed your test. Okay, so did you pass your test? If you had studied harder, you would have passed. Did you pass? No, you did not. Okay, so that's what it is talking about, but you didn't study hard, so you did not pass your test. All right, so again, something that happened in the past, and this is again like a regret. So that's the reason you use your past perfect here, and here we use our would have. Okay, so again, third condition, talking about past. If I had known that I would have, if I would have known that, I would have told you, but I didn't know, so I didn't tell you. All right, you understand? So something that has already happened, and now you cannot change it unless you have like a time machine, which is again unlikely. All right, so that's what your third conditions are about. They are like regrets, something that has happened in the past, and you are thinking of some different result of something, and you are just thinking that, oh, if that would have happened, or what. So you're imagining a different past, which is again not possible. Okay, so if she hadn't been driving slowly, she would have had an accident, but she was driving slowly, so she didn't have an accident. Okay, so again, we're talking about, oh, I mean, this is a weird situation, isn't it? I mean, why would you expect somebody to have an accident? Anyways, so if she hadn't been driving slowly, so was she driving slowly? Yes, she was. She would have had an accident. Did she have an accident? No, she did not, right? Because she was driving slowly. So this is what your third condition is about. It talks about things that happened in the past, and then you are imagining a different past. Okay, because probably you're not happy with the way something happened, or you're just imagining a past result of something that did not happen. You want to change that. But again, not a possibility. All right, so that's how your second and third conditions are different. Second condition talk about present, unlikely things that could happen in present, or talks about things, unlikely things to happen in future. And third condition talk about past regrets or things that happened in the past, and now you are imagining a different result to something that happened in the past. All right, so you want to change that. And first condition, they always talk about facts. All right, so something, it is like a fact. So this one here, to express a simple statement or a fact, that's what your first condition or your intention. Okay, all good. And like I kept on reminding you, when you're starting your sentence with your main clause, no comma. When you start your sentence with if, you place a comma. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this lesson. I am sure that you know your conditions by now. Okay, so what do you have to do? You have to press your like button, subscribe, and spread the words. Until we meet next time, bye for now.